Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. Wow, it's been a month since I said that. But yeah, we're back with another Duel Links video because of the fact that there is a brand new main box that got leaked in the most recent Duel Links update with the Sora unlock event. And we're going to be taking a look at the Cross Dimension box. It's going to be the next main box. And holy buckets, boys. I've been seeing from other YouTubers like Brad and Loom hyping up this box. I'm going to see if this box is also hype. And also, when it comes to today's review, I'm going to try to get through it as fast as possible because I got to go to work in 2 hours. And I'm afraid of how this review is going to go because I haven't been playing the game for a month because I've been on hiatus because of work. But yeah, I'm even wearing work clothes, bro. Like, bro, save me from retail, boys. Be sure to smash the like button on today's video down below so I can get closer to being full-time content creator. But yeah, without further ado, let's go hop in this box review and take a look at all these new cards. Okay, first card is going to be the UR card right here for Superheavy Samurais. And what's really cool about this box so far is that it has like support for every Arc 5 character pretty much, which is awesome. This card right here is Superheavy Samurai Warlord Susano. Oh, woo! And it's a level 10 Earth Machine Synchro Effect monster. It takes one Machine type tuner plus one or more non-tuner Superheavy Samurai monsters. This card can attack while in face-up defense position, and if it does, apply its defense for damage calculation. So a 3,800 beat stick, that is huge. Once per turn during either player's turn, if you have no spell trap cards in your graveyard, you can target one spell and trap card in your opponent's graveyard, set it to your side of the field, but banish it when it leaves the field. So I kind of like this right here because basically what you can do is that you get to recycle your opponent's back row and use it for yourself, and when it gets used up, it goes back to their graveyard since it is their card. So that's actually kind of cool right there. It's also a 3,800 beat stick, and if you have it equipped with some of the other super heavy equips, is going to be insane. At the same time though, I don't know how easy it is to get out into this card because I don't know, I haven't played this game in a month, but like on paper this card seems cool, but at the same time it might be more of a win more card from what I remember of Super Heavy Samurais. But again, it's a cool extra deck card. Might as well throw it in the extra deck if you can get into it. You're gonna have a big beat stick that can get over a ton of boss monsters in the metagame, so I'm all for it. Next up, we got a random UR here, but still kind of in theme with Arc 5, considering that I believe this card was showcased in the Arc 5 anime. Yep, that would do it. Ancient Gear Howitzer is a UR Machine Fusion Effect monster, level 8. It takes 2 Ancient Gear monsters, and it can be any 2 Ancient Gear monsters. Unaffected by other card effects, during your main phase, you can inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent. This might get changed when it gets released in Duel Links, but at the same time, I mean, it's only 1/4 of the life points, so maybe it'll stay the same. You only can use this effect of this card once per turn. If this card is destroyed a battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon Ancient Gear from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Oh, that's cool. So you get to basically chip 1,000 points of damage to your opponent per turn, and then your opponent's going to want to get rid of it so that that timer of getting chipped by burn damage will go away. But once that happens, then you're going to be able to bounce this out for a different Ancient Gear monster. So you can get Reactor Dragon out, Golem out, whatever you feel like, whatever tickles your fancy. So I kind of like that card. Next up, we got Frightfurs. Here's the only problem though. I have absolutely no clue what Sora's like reward cards are. I guess I could just, click on the top left here and scroll down a little bit and just go to the event right here and take a look, right? Like, oh, we got Frightfur Tiger, cool. We got Fluffal Crane, word. Fluffal Bear, huge. And we got Fluffal Leo, okay, word. Well, Frightfur Tiger is actually kind of good. Well, looking at Sora's reward cards, and I think his level up cards are pretty busted, Frightfur seem kind of cool. Right here, though, we have Frightfur Sabre-Tooth, a UR box boss monster for Frightfurs. From this box, it takes a Frightfur Fusion monster plus one or more Fluffal and or Edge Imp monsters. When this card is Fusion summoned, you can target one Frightfur monster in your graveyard, special summon it. All Frightfur monsters you control gain 400 attack. This card was Fusion summoned using 3 or more materials that cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So this is kind of like a combo card, essentially, which is really cool for the fact that you can go into Tiger, pop a couple cards, and then use Tiger as a fusion material for Saber-Tooth here. And if you have multiple Fluffal and Edge Imp monsters, you're going to be able to fuse them all together to make this just a 2,400 beat stick that can't get destroyed by battle card effects. And on top of that, too, it gains the 400 bonus for making it to 2,800. So you can actually get a 2,800 beat stick that is just unaffected by or it just can't get destroyed by battle or card effects, which is really cool. So I kind of like the going into Tiger, pop some cards, and then finish it off with Saber-Tooth to just swing and destroy your opponent. That's pretty cool. Next up, we have whatever the heck this thing is. DDD, Super Doom King Dark Armageddon, a rank 8 pendulum. All right. Once per turn, well, here's it. Actually, we should read its, what is it? Its monster effect first, because you can't pendulum this card out. You have to first overlay into it. So it takes 2 level 8 DDD monsters, can't be pendulum summoned. When this card is Xyz summoned, you can detach a face-up DD pendulum monster from your extra deck to this card's material. Pendulum monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card. Then target monsters your opponent controls equal to the number of pendulum monsters you control. Destroy them. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. Once it's placed in your pendulum zone, once per turn, if you have a DD card in your other pendulum zone, you can special summon 1 DDD Xyz monster for your extra deck, except DDD Super Doom King Armageddon. That's actually really cool. So you can cheese out any DDD Xyz monster from the extra deck. I mean, we don't really have that much going on in Duel Links, but you can get out Darius here or Quasar if you want to. Oh, okay, you can't get him yet. I was about to say, I was like, whoa, that would be insane to cheese out too. That'd be broken. But yeah, so you can cheese out into a Kaiser or Darius here, so that's cool. So you can just special summon them for free. And it's a, what is it? And it's a once per turn effect too, so you can continuously special summon them from there. So that's awesome. And what's kind of cool about this card too is that you can recycle your face-up DDD pendulum monsters from your extra deck and equip it to Dark Armageddon as Xyz materials. Pendulum monsters that you have that you control can't be destroyed by card effects, and once per turn you can detach one of them and target monsters your opponent controls equal to the number of pendulum monsters you control and destroy them. It'll count for this guy too because he's also a pendulum. I mean, this card does seem really cool, has a lot of fun effects, but the problem is we don't have any like really good DDD Xyz monsters yet in this game, so I don't think that effect where you can cheese one out is going to be super beneficial. And on top of that too, the DDD pendulum cards, they're okay. A lot of people were still kind of using the original engine for DDDs when they got support and teched in one or two of some of the other DDD cards, but like, I don't know. It's like, it just really depends on how your deck is built, of course. But like, most people were still using just the normal engine and whatnot, maybe teching in like, you know, some of these cards to trigger certain skills, and that was about it. So I don't know if this card is going to see any play, but it's really cool. It's a really cool boss monster. So I mean, I'm kind of all for it. Next up, we're going to take a look at Odd Eye's Rebellion Dragon, one of the OG ace monsters from Arc 5, which is awesome. This anime moment was so hyped, so I'm glad to see this card in the game. It's not really that good, but it's cool to see. But yeah, it's a generic rank 7 pendulum effect monster. You just need 2 level 7 dragon type monsters. So I guess not super generic, but if you have a dragon deck that can spam out level 7s, there you go. If you can pendulum summon a level 7, you can pendulum summon this face-up card from your extra deck, so you can recycle this guy when it gets popped, which is awesome. If this card is Xyz summoned using an Xyz material or monster as material, you can destroy as many level 7 or lower monsters your opponent controls as possible in like 1,000 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be 500 with the Duel Links nerf, but we'll see. And if you do, this card can make 3 attacks during each battle phase this turn. Oh baby! If this card in the monster zone is destroy a battle or card effect, you can destroy as many cards in your pendulum zone as possible, and if you do, place this card in your pendulum zone. So it's gonna be a little hard to recycle this guy out when you do that because you have to pop your scales, but still, its effect is super explosive. And to top it off, its pendulum effect states once per turn, if you have no cards in your other pendulum zone, you can place 1 pendulum monster from your deck in your pendulum zone. So huge. But yeah, no, Rebellion is really cool. The only thing is though, is that you have to use an Xyz summon monster as a material to trigger this explosive effect. And so far, the only card that you're going to be able to do it with, and the easiest way is going to be with Xiangke Magician. Mispronounced this guy. But you can use its pendulum effect to target a face-up Xyz monster you control and use it as a Xyz material for an Xyz summon this turn. So you first need to get a rank 7 Xyz monster on the board and then switch its level to a regular level. And it has to be a dragon one to keep in mind. And then you have to use that Xyz rank 7, turn to a level 7 dragon monster, overlay it with another level 7 dragon monster like Odd Eyes, and then you can go into Rebellion Dragon and win the duel. But it's going to be like a convoluted combo to get into because you can only trigger that explosive effect if you have a level 7 dragon. So it's going to be fun to see people make some decks off of this. It's going to be really cool, but I don't know if it's going to be like a top tier meta deck. It's going to be just a cheese card. It's just going to be a cheese card at the end of the day, but hey, I'm all for it. I love the anime moments, and this card is awesome. Next up, we're going to take a look at Fusion Conscription. Reveal Fusion monster in your extra deck and add 1 of the Fusion materials whose name is specifically listed in the card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Hey, yo! And if you do, for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, you cannot normal summon your set or special summon monsters with the added monster's name. Also, your monsters with that name cannot activate their effects. Pretty good card. On the top of my head, I don't know what decks are going to capitalize on this effect, but for how generic this card is, being able to search for just any one of your monsters for Fusion material, going to be pretty crazy. It's going to be a nice little turn 1 card to get your deck going. The only thing is though, is that it's gonna be, you're gonna have to like first play around that search, but then you're gonna be able to do it on your following turn to trigger the effects that you want to trigger from the card that you searched with. So I see why this card is a UR card, and I'm very curious to see what cheese decks are going to use this card for, because I'm going to guess there's an exploit that I'm not thinking of on the top of my head, because like I said, I've been active for a month. I don't know how to Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, this is actually a really good card. Generic cards are always amazing, so I'm curious to see what this card will be used. Next up, we have Frightfur Fusion. Frightfur Fusion, let's go. Normal spell card, fusion summon a 1 Frightfur Fusion monster from your action deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or graveyard. You only can activate 1 Frightfur Fusion per turn. The fact that you can use your graveyard to go for these fusions is going to make this deck really good, because again, you first fusion summon into your targets like Tiger, and then what you can do is that you can use Frightfur Fusion and get rid of all your cards off the field and graveyard, and then you're going to be able to go into bigger boss monsters like the Sabre-Tooth card we talked about earlier. So that's why Frightfurs are going to be really spicy, and you're going to need 3 copies of this fusion card right here, because it's a searchable card, and on top of that too, you're going to be able to recycle your fusion, your graveyard materials and bake beefy Frightfur monsters. So I'm looking forward to seeing if Frightfurs are going to be good, because I think they have a lot of the cards that they need to play the deck. So we'll have to wait and see and get our hands on these cards here, because again, we got Sora level ups and all that stuff there. So I'm looking forward to it. Next up, we're going to take a look at Dimension Slice. Dark Dimension Slash. Shout out to all the Black Clover fans out there. But yeah, this card states when a monster is special summoned to your side of the field, except during the damage step, target 1 face of monster opponent controls. Banish that target. If the summon is an Xyz summon, you can activate this card the turn it will set. Hey, yo, that's crazy. Wait, this is actually kind of a cool card, because like if you play an Xyz deck, you get to basically just target your opponent's monsters and banish them immediately. So you set this card, Xyz summon, banish one of your opponent's monsters as long as you can target it. That's cool. So this is going to be busted in an Xyz deck. Other than that, it's kind of okay in decks that don't Xyz summon, but you're going to want to put this in an Xyz deck so you can just have like, it's basically like an extra way of removal, and you can get like good beefy like Xyz monsters that don't have the effect where you can pop a card off the field, and you just use Dimension Slice instead to do so. So that's actually kind of cool. I like that card. I see why this is a UR. We'll definitely see if this will see play, because like PKs, bro, PKs are gonna love this. Wait, oh my god, this actually, that's ridiculous. That's actually a decent. I'm curious to see if this will see play in PKs. I think that's like, what is that, like one of the only like, yeah, that's pretty much the only like Xyz deck that can like really consistently get Xyz monsters out. The only thing is though, is that they don't really use too much cards like that. We'll see. I don't know if they will, because I mean, this deck is looking pretty freaking stacked, no cap. So I don't know, but hey, I think it could see playing PKs, maybe a little side decker, maybe in this deck too. Ooh, even in Gandora, we'll see. And we're gonna skip Breakthrough Skill, because that card is already in Duel Links. But let's go take a look at some other ridiculous stuff like DDD, Oblivion, King Abyss, Ragnarok. This is a level 8 dark pendulum DDD monster. Its monster effect states that this card is normal or special summon. You can target 1 DDD monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You'll can use the effect of this card once per turn. Once per turn, you contribute 1 other DD monster, then target 1 monster opponent controls and banish it. So that's actually really cool, because you can basically recycle your DDD monsters that you use for whatever you needed to use them for, you know, your fusion summon, ritual summon, not ritual summon, I don't know what I'm talking about, just your fusion synchro Xyz summons. You can recycle those DDD monsters from your graveyard, bring them onto the field, and you can either use those for material to either overlay, to either do another fusion summon, or you can pop it and with Ragnarok's effect and destroy a monster your opponent controls. So that's cool there. This pendulum effect also states if you special summon a DD monster except during a damage step, you can target 1 DD monster in your graveyard. Any battle damage your opponent takes is half rest of the turn, also special summon that monster, and if you do, take 1,000 damage. So this is also a cool effect too, because you can use this as a scale 5, and scale 5 is not too bad for this deck. And you can use that to recycle, and you can also recycle your DD monsters. So you like pendulum summon into a couple DD monsters, and then you can recycle one of your DD monsters to again go for like another fusion summon or synchro summon, which is really cool. So this guy's actually a really cool combo extender that can also be a pretty decent beat stick if you need him on the board. So I think this card might see some play just for how versatile it is, so I like the card. All right, we got the Magician out here, baby. Level 7, scale 3, dark magician right here. Shush. So Xiangke Magician, I don't know how to pronounce this card's name, but TLDR, this is basically the guy you're going to want to go into the Rampage Dragon. I don't even know. What was he called again? Rebellion Dragon. I'm a little dumb. But yeah, this guy right here, he's all right. Monster effect, during either player's turn, you can target a light monster in the field. That face of monster has effects negated until the end of the turn. So a little situational effect, but still nice and could be used against certain decks. But yeah, the main thing is that it's a scale 3 that you can utilize to target an Xyz monster you control and change it from rank to level, and then you can use it for overlaying into Rampage. I don't know why I keep calling it Rampage Dragon, a Rebellion Dragon. So that's all he's for. So he's just the core card to go into Rebellion Dragon, which is hype. Next up though, let's go take a look at Fluffal Dog. When this card is normal or special summon from the hand, you can add 1 Edge, Imp, Sabers, or Fluffal from your deck to your hand. Except Fluffal Dog. You only can use this effect Fluffal Dog once per turn. So yeah, it's an SR for a reason. It is your main searcher, and you're going to be able to search for any Edge, Imp, Sabers, which is going to be huge for your fusion summons, or just any Fluffal monster that you need. And you get to use this cute little Fluffal Dog to go into fusion summons. It's a great fusion target. It's a great searcher. It's just a fantastic card, and you're going to use this adorable dog a lot to go into your fusion summons. Next up, we have Superheavy Samurai Scales. Level 4 Earth Machine Effect monster. If your opponent controls 2 or more monsters and you control none, you can special summon this card from your hand. It's pretty cool. This card is normal or special summon. You can target a level 4 or lower Super Heavy Samurai in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. So a free summon if your opponent has a lot of monsters on the board, and a good late game card if you need to, bring a tuner monster from your graveyard or an Xyz monster from your graveyard and overlay into some shenanigans. So pretty cool. Next up, we have Edge Imp Chain. When this card declares an attack, you can add an Edge Imp Chain from your deck to your hand. If this card sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add a Frightfur card from your deck to your hand. So this guy's going to be a cool little fusion target for some of your fusion monsters that are also obtainable from this box. And then you're going to be able to, again, plus more. You're going to use your Frightfur Fusion, use Chain as fusion material, and send it from the hand to the graveyard. And then you're going to be able to add a Frightfur card to hopefully go for some more fusion summons. That's what this deck likes to do. Frightfurs just love to continuously fusion summon and then stack as many fusion monsters as possible to make one big fluffy demon to make your opponent go to hell. There you go. So yeah, that's a nice little plus card. That's why it's an SR. Next up, we're going to take a look at Ancient Gear Hunting Hound, a level 3 Earth Machine Effect monster. This card is normal summon. You can inflict 600 damage to your opponent. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spell / trap cards till the end of the damage step. Once per turn, you can fusion summon an Ancient Gear Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. So that's kind of cool. So you get to summon this card, inflict some damage to your opponent, and on top of that too, you can use this card as material to go into some other fusion monsters. So again, just a really cool card, and again, a really good target for Howitzer there. You can easily chain that guy out, or any other Ancient Gear monster you think of summoning. You can use Hound and your other Ancient Gears. So that's cool. I actually like that. Next up, we have Voloferniges, the Darkest Dragon Doom Rider. All right, that's a cool little rank 7 here. Never seen this card before. Once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from this card, then target a face-up card on the field, destroy it, and if you destroy a monster, you can make one face-up monster control gain attack equal to destroy's monster original level / ranked times 300 till the end of the turn. Card cannot attack the turn activate as effect. This is a quick effect if this card has a dragon monster as material, but cannot be activated during the damage step. That's actually not bad. That actually is kind of cool. The only thing that sucks is that you can't give that attack to Darkest Dragon, or you could, but you couldn't swing with this guy, which is unfortunate. So take it as you will, but yeah, this is actually a really good card right there for the fact that if you use a dragon monster material, it's a quick effect, so you can play this effect during your opponent's turn and have just another way to pop a card on your opponent's side of the field. So I could see this card being played in certain decks. It's actually a really good rank 7 just card for multiple reasons, because even if you don't play dragons in your deck to summon into this guy, you can do it during your turn and pop a card. So that's a generic rank 7 removal. Or if you do use a dragon, you can set this card up turn 1 and then use it during your opponent's turn and hopefully stop your opponent from going into their combos. So I like that card. It's actually a nice little just negate in a sense. Yosenju channeling right here. Normal spell card. If you control no monsters, activate one of the following effects. Also for us this turn, after this card resolves, you can't special summon a monster except Yosenju monsters. You can either add a 5 or higher Yosenju monster from your deck to your hand, or you can place a Yosenju L and R from your deck to your pendulum zones, but destroy them during your opponent's next end phase. So super good card right here to get the Yosenju combos going, because you can set up your scales immediately, or you can search for a 5 or higher Yosenju monster if you don't want your scales to get popped right away. But yeah, really good card to get the deck going. This is probably going to be a 3-of in the deck, or maybe a 2-of in the deck. So I'm all for it. And then the last new card we're going to take a look at is Punch in the Box. Normal spell, not normal spell card here, normal trap card. When your opponent's monster declares an attack while they control 2 or more monsters, target the attacking monster, negate the attack, and if you do, send one other monster that controls to the graveyard. Then the targeted monster loses attack equal to the original attack and defense, whichever is higher, your choice of tide of the sent monster in the graveyard. So I don't know how much this card's gonna see play, but it will be. It's gonna be like the new wall disruption. It's gonna be a very devastating card to deal with when it does happen to you, because your monster that you're swinging with in the first place, that effect gets negated, and then you target your other opponent's monster, and it just goes bye bye, and then the monster that got negated loses attack equal to the original attack and defense of whatever monster got sent to the graveyard. So now the monster that got negated, while it's still there, it's not gonna have a lot of attack anymore. So it's like. It's gonna be a new wall disruption. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna see much play. But when it does see play, you're gonna be pissed off. So I like it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for all the UR and SR cards. I think Frightfurs might actually be a pretty good deck. DDD's got a lot of new support too, which is awesome. So I think we're gonna see this like weird like Arc 5 era of just a lot of good Arc 5 decks. Like PK's got a little boost. Frightfurs might have a chance to be pretty deadly because they got a lot of their cards. They might be missing a core card or two, but they still have like a lot of really interesting boss monsters that are kind of easy to summon. So it's like, it's going to be very interesting to see how this is going to play out. I think Frightfurs might have a chance to be meta because they actually have a lot of cards to use in their archetype. And then Superheavy Samurai's got a little boost. Ancient Gears got some support. DDD got some good cards. We got some really good reprints. Aether, Volcanic Queen, Breakthrough Shell. I think this is a really good box. I see why people are hyped up about this box, and I'm all for it. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like on today's video down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content. Help me get to full time. Anyways, though, have a good one, guys, and adios.